Did you finish your disgusting soda?
Pepsi's good.
And why are you? Why did you steal some poor black dude's name? You know, I have never met.
I
I
didn't.
have never. I
It
have
was
never met a white dude named Trey. Never.
one of the
What's
greatest.
your real name?
I'm not gonna say that. No, yeah, no one's gonna. No one needs to do that. Um,
Using a fake name, you Yakubian devil. Your name is not Trey. Anyways, this
I've known
is.
my my entire life. Let's do it.
It literally means a third,
It
though. Like
does.
that's yeah. Like usually people who are named Trey, like their real name is something 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 the third. But anyways, this chopped ham looking motherfucker wants to run YDSA into the ground. Why?
I think that you know we've been bothering too many people. We've been causing a lot of division on campuses, and it's about time someone puts an end to it. No, I don't know. I want to build YDSA and expand it into a vibrant, fighting youth wing of the largest socialist organization in the history of the United States. Um, YDSA is in the position to do that because we are the official youth section of the largest socialist organization in the United States. And, I think I'm the guy to do that because I'm one of them. I've been in it for a while at a lot of different levels. I've done a lot of different things in the youth section and in DSA. And I think that we are in a pretty important historic defining moment that will present us with some of the biggest challenges and opportunities our organization has faced. And it's important to have a lot of experienced people involved.
So you've been around for a long time, and for people watching this, I actually do not hate Trey. I actually do not hate Trey. We're actually buddies, but my thing is like to be a dick to people and call people Yakubian devil. So I have to give my viewers what they want. Anyways, so yeah, Trey is actually a buddy of mine. So yeah, you want to expand YDSA off campus, which I personally think is probably the most important thing that y'all can be doing because, like, I mean, even though um, the YDSA website like explicitly states that it's a student organization, like a lot of working class youth, millennials and Zoomers alike, are are not going to college. Like they're going straight to work, or they're going straight to lumpenization, or they're going to community college. And I was like, I've always wondered, like, why does YDSA not have a substantial community college presence?
Well, community colleges don't have, well, I mean, we'll take a step back. YDSA, as it's set up right now, isn't a real youth wing of DSA, in my opinion. It's a federation of college clubs, and college clubs are most consistent and best served in um, really just can only exist in places that have a substantial on campus student body, people that live in dorms and are part of a campus community. Commuter schools, community colleges, even like most like state schools, which are probably part of the commuter part, they don't really serve uh, clubs that well. So we need to have a model that is different from other like college activist sects and cliques and milieus to be something better and is more faced towards the youth of this country. Like you said, young people aren't really going to college right now. We see these like student movements in other countries because the student body is just kind of composed differently. In Quebec, we like to talk about like that big student strike that they had there. And that was in 2012 when they brought the fees up to like 600, 700, $800 for your tuition, which like I would go on strike right now if it meant I could have tuition that cheap. In other places, school is and education is treated as a right, and you get a bigger cross section, a more diverse student body, a student body of the working class that is probably more interested in like militant action. But the people that are getting into school now, they've either made it out by working and grinding, and they have a lot to lose by taking like big bold action, or they're from a class and have ingested a type of politics that are much more moderate and not interested in the outcomes that we would get from militant action.
Yeah. And even like going back to the United States, like people are always like asking why. Well, I guess these whole encampment movement kind of put the lie to this, but like people are always asking like, why is like why aren't university students doing the types of things that they were doing in the 60s and 70s? And for one, like conditions have changed.
Yeah,
Like back then, you did not really have to go into incredible amounts of debt to obtain a bachelor's degree. Like I remember somebody, I think they had found their grandma's tuition receipt from University of Texas at Austin from like 1968, and it was literally only $1,000 a semester. I mean, there was still a shitload of money back then,
yeah,
but it was not like like if you try to say you're going to Columbia or Harvard or shit, even my alma mater, St. Louis University, it's a private Jesuit school. Like you're not going to work yourself through that college. You are going to work yourself to death, and like that was intentional. Like college was made incredibly expensive for working class, even middle class students, because they did not want they wanted you to go there. They wanted you to imbibe your capitalist bourgeois slop, and they wanted you to go on to be a good little cog in the machine, to be a part of the system. And so they wanted people thinking, oh, you know what? If I go and I chain myself to the balcony at this library, I very possibly might get thrown out. I might lose my scholarship. I might get in all types of trouble. Like people have, when you're constantly worrying over expenses, activism in many cases takes a bit of a back seat because you're trying to eat, you're trying to stay in school, you don't want to get put out of school. Because especially if you're a first generation college student, like I was, like you've got a lot. Like
yeah,
your whole family is rooting for you. Your whole family is on your ass. Like if you drop out of school, you drop out of this family. Like people literally told me that, but I still got involved in activism anyway because I'm a sicko. um, but like it's hard. It's a lot harder than it was back then. I mean, it shit was hard back then too. You literally had activists being shot at, but we have a whole different set of contradictions right now. Like we live um in the last stages of neoliberalism, and back then it was a sort of it was a more communal mindset. When I talked to Aaron Dixon, like he said, like the main difference between the movement now and the movement back then was that we actually had a community in our neighborhoods.
yeah,
That's why the Black Panther Party was like when the cops would come by and shoot up the Black Panther Party headquarters and do all that fucked up shit. Like the community would literally come out because they valued the Panthers of the community. They loved having the Panthers there. Same thing. One of the reasons why the student movement, especially around Columbia, that developed in the struggle around Morningside Library and its encroachment on Harlem, was that the masses in the community were actually linked up with radical, particularly black university students at Columbia in the struggle against building this gym. It wasn't a library; it was a gym, and and the people in the community were not going to be allowed to use it. Like if you know anything about Columbia, Columbia is literally smack dab in the middle of fucking Harlem. And so I definitely think that you working to get YDSA off campus and into the communities more so than it already
yeah,
is definitely a good thing. Like I've always considered YDSA to be the vanguard of the DSA milieu as a whole, because like when you look at YDSA, I mean, there's still struggle, there's still contradictions, but like there's no like back and forth over whether or not we should support the encampment movement or whether we should be a really solid anti-Zionist organization. Like y'all seem to get it. Whereas big DSA, it's a whole nother set of contradictions, and it's just like constantly like banging your head against the brick wall, trying because like when you're in big DSA, you've got people that actually have a stake in keeping these politicians in office, no matter what stupid things they say or do.
yeah.
So yeah, but YDSA is dope. If you are in university, if you're in college, you should definitely join it, and you should definitely help build it up into an organization that's actually capable of expanding into communities.
Yeah, and if you live in Milwaukee or Vermont, also, and you're not a student, definitely still join YDSA because there are experiments going on to be an organization that are more welcoming and you know actually can have a political program for the youth, not just the students and the people that have access to that education. Milwaukee is doing a far better job than Vermont. They are a city chapter, and that is one of the big debates that we're having at convention are the expansion to have city and regional chapters and to become more of a youth wing than a student section. And this does create a lot of like subtle political differences between the caucuses, especially ones that believe that a student movement and student power can be like a viable path forward. If you are really into like the student movement thing, you're less into the youth movement idea of us expanding off campus. You might want to concentrate on campus, and that is like an interesting debate that's going on right now.
Okay. So you guys are getting ready for your convention, I believe, next week.
Yes.
And this is also it's also in Chicago. So you all are going to be right before the big DSA convention.
Yep.
So the theme is appropriately Over the Barricades.
It is. I didn't pick the theme, so I have no commentary on that. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're running to be an at-large member of the National Coordinating Committee, basically the YDSA's NPC, basically the people who run YDSA, who set the political line, and who are leadership for the upcoming term. So you're going to be helping create committees, run campaigns, plan national events, sit in meetings, brainwash people, all that good stuff.
And
so
collect the $1,000 a month stipend that all of our members get. I was thinking about running for NPC before I realized that YDSA paid more. It is something that is a little different about us is that all of our elected national leaders do receive a stipend, and they are expected. They do have
hold up. They pay you Rugrats $1,000 a month.
Yes, and we only have one staffer.
Each and every one of you gets $1,000 a month.
I believe the co-chairs get even more because they collect the NPC steering committee money, but that might change with the DEMCOM amendments.
To be honest, y'all deserve it.
Yeah, if you're a student, the only students before that would be able to get on the NCC were people that could give up, sacrifice a lot more time. I know that I couldn't run for this position if the stipend wasn't an option for me right now.
Yeah, usually what happens when you if you don't, because just being in leadership in my chapter, this is an extremely time-consuming enterprise.
Yes,
and if you even just from a big DSA perspective, well, we need to stop saying big DSA and little DSA because that's kind of ageist and chauvinistic.
Yeah, but DSA, yeah.
But that's why leadership in many cases, in many organizations, not just in DSA, tends to skew towards those who are I'm not saying wealthy, but who are well fixed enough. Yeah, who are more comfortable, who are more well fixed, so that they can attend meetings and travel across the country. So yeah, I'm definitely a big supporter of stipends, just so that we can enable more work, so we can take the burden off working class comrades. Because I'm a big supporter of working class leadership in both YDSA and DSA. If we're socialists, we need to actually be developing leaders organically out of the working class. I want to be able eventually for our organization to take, say, a line cook from McDonald's and in the span of 2 or 3 years have them on the NPC.
Yeah,
that's how socialist organizations used to be. That's how they should be today. We should not just have an endless parade of people who, I'm a staffer for such and such. No, that's not proletarian leadership. Even though they may have a proletarian class stand, we have to develop organically proletarian leadership. That's part of being a socialist organization.
Yeah. Another thing about when you said earlier, YDSA being the vanguard of DSA, I don't know if I'd go that far, but in my experience, organizers and activists that come into DSA because we're kind of new, and this was, I think, more so the case in between 2020 and 2020 or like 2016, and like the new influx of people, they learned their like organizing manners, their habits, the culture of like being in an organization from like nonprofits, or if we were lucky, the labor movement. But if they came out of the labor movement, a good chunk of the time they were staff, and not as many of them had the experience of being in and participating in a democratic organization where collective decisions were made. If you were a socialist or a leftist or an anti-capitalist or any of someone with a heart in this country, it was safe to assume for a while that like everyone around you that was interested in politics was evil, and you developed a habit of bad faith. And I think that that is kind of tainted the culture in DSA. YDSA, breaking the kids early, giving them the experience of being in a democratic organization, lends them pretty well in a career in DSA as a activist, organizer, leader, whatever. That's why Alex Pelletari running for NPC co-chair is so fucking solid. That's a YDSA cadre right there. Zoran wasn't in YDSA, but he was in SJP in his chapter, and he learned a lot of the same like principles and manners being part of that organization.
Yeah, we definitely need we need to break that whole staff versus activist contradiction. Like I lean towards the activist because like that's how I came up. Like um I was like a hardcore Maoist during my college years. Like I probably would have never joined a YDSA chapter because for one, this was probably 2014, 2015. YDSA and DSA in general were radically different back then.
So different that at that point we were just called YDS. We got the A later after Bernie for symmetry.
Somebody threw an A on that shit.
Yeah, I was the editor of the History of YDSA pamphlet written by David Duhalde and his pals. So yeah, I know the history.
Like it's amazing. Like even when I was in like it's amazing how much DSA has developed since since I was in college during the whole Ferguson era. Like back then DSA was considered a joke. But now like it's actually an organization that's actually outdoing shit among the people and making big moves, and that's why a lot of people are taking it more seriously. That's why at these conventions we have to actually continue to ensure that we are taken more seriously and support resolutions that are left and resolutions that help to make amends for the for a lot of the old school Harringtonite shit that makes a lot of people think DSA and be like,
yeah.
But we're definitely making progress. I think this NPC in particular has been probably the most radical ever, if I recall correctly.
I think it would be safe to call this NPC the most radical ever.
Yeah, we have to keep up the trend because, like, a lot of just from my own subjective experience, a lot of people that in 2016, 2017 would not have fucked with DSA, now they're members. Not just members, but actual, like, cadre. Like, actually leading campaigns, leading working groups, in leadership in their chapters. That's why I always tell communists, like, all you all complain about, like, you all are always complaining about what DSA is doing. Like, if you join DSA, you actually have the power to change this shit. Like, it's not like a democratic centralist organization. Well, most of the organizations in the United States that call themselves democratic centralists are not democratic centralists. They're bureaucratic centralists. But, like, in a bureaucratic centralist organization, you basically do what the fuck you're told or you get put out. Whereas in DSA, like, I keep telling people, like, it is extremely, like, if somebody gets put out of DSA, they've earned it.
Yeah.
Like, it is extremely hard to get kicked out of here.
Yeah. That's why so many people that have been kicked out of DSA were never kicked out of DSA. They left.
They left. Like all those Zionists after October 7th. I'm leaving DSA because anti-Semites have taken over the org. And then you look at the people that they're calling anti-Semites and they're like, maybe if you put people in a cage and treat them like shit, they're going to be mad and they're going to shoot at you. But Zionists really don't have all that much common sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of Zionists, the Handala almost made it to Gaza. This is so fucking frustrating to me. So we've got Chris Smalls here. But like, this is so fucking frustrating to me. Like these ships.
Chris Smalls to deliver aid to Gaza.
Yeah, he joined one of the Freedom Flotilla missions.
I didn't know he was on the one that got taken in.
Yeah,
If you
there
are
he is.
seeing this video,
He loves his dookie chains.
we have been intercepted at sea and have been kidnapped by the Israeli occupation forces or forces of the country complicit in Israel's genocide of the Palestinians.
No, Cyan, they got captured. The Israelis boarded the ship a few hours ago.
I appeal to my comrades, friends, family, to everyone to put pressure on the U.S. government to demand my release and the release of my comrades as soon as possible. Thank you.
Damn.
Yeah, so they got captured. It's like, and again, this is international waters. They like Israel has no right to be doing what they're doing. This is international waters. People can come and bring aid to this suffering people that are suffering because of Israel.
I
This is a former this is a
Yes.
former Green Beret. He's talking about what happened at the U.S. and Israeli run aid sites. You see, he has a little purple heart.
The Israeli Defense Forces firing a main gun tank round from the Merkava tank into a crowd of people, destroying a car of civilians.
Again, all of this is entirely for no reason. There are no Hamas militants embedded with them. Like, these people are fucking hungry. They're trying to get food. Like I saw earlier, they dropped a big ass parachute full of relief supplies, and people were on the ground fighting and stabbing each other over it. Like a little kid, he was running with a bag of flour, and a grown ass man came and snatched the food away from him and knocked the kid to the ground. And it's not the kid's fault. It's not the big dude's fault. Like, you're literally, it's like if you see a group of homeless people on the street, like desperately homeless people that haven't eaten in days, and you take a bite of a sandwich and you throw the sandwich into that crowd of people. It's for your own amusement. It's the most disgusting thing you can do.
Yeah, that's why they're approving the like airdrops that other countries do this, just because they fuck up the people on the ground like so bad. Like someone was saying to me this week, like, oh, they're so stupid. You know, they see the airdrop come down and they just stand directly under it. Like they've been being starved and murdered for a very long time. Very, 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 very desperate to be one of the first people that can get that food, because it means, you know, whether or not you get that food, it can decide if you, your wife, your kids live or die. It's just
It's just like during the Holocaust, when the Soviets and the Brits and the Americans, when they would liberate these death camps, they would just start, like, they would have food up on the tank or in the Jeep or in the truck, and they just start throwing shit down to the people. And the medical personnel, they're like, hey, look, quit doing that. These people are going to eat themselves to death. Because, like, if you have survived on nothing but like water soup with maybe a piece of rotten vegetable in it for years, and people start giving you chocolate and sausage and all that other stuff, yeah, your body can't handle that shit. One of your friends will join the Liberation Caucus of YDSA. Inshallah. That's dope.
sorry. Yeah, I'm back.
You're good.
Yeah. Oh, and they also, like, you know, had to like blend down the food and stuff, because the shock that people get when they haven't eaten for so long and they suddenly get to eat, the logistics and everything of delivering aid are very complicated, and they were figured out, not perfected, but a far better way of distributing aid was figured out by the United Nations, and they were kicked out for no fucking reason. Like, if USAID is investigating this and saying that the reports of Hamas stealing aid or whatever, that there's no evidence of it, then there's definitely no evidence of it, because those guys are always looking for a reason to pick on innocent people.
Yeah. It's not just no. If this was DSA's only problem with messaging around the Zionist entity, this would be like at least a little bit further to the left. A lot of people are just talking like it's just Netanyahu. Like, if we get rid of Netanyahu and we replace him with somebody else, then Israel will finally be good. No, like, people do not. This is why Liberation has a whole ass reading list about anti-imperialism, about settler colonialism, because when you have a settler colonial country like Rhodesia, like the Zionist entity, like the United States, like Australia, the primary contradiction, the thing that drives all others, is the fact that this is stolen land worked by stolen people. And if you don't address that, everything else that you're going to do is just going to be like a little band-aid. But yeah, like you have Bernie talking about Israel has the right to exist. Israel had, like, why do you keep saying that? You've already said it once. Everybody already knows that you're a soft Zionist. Like, why do you have to repeat this over and over and over and over again like a broken record? And it's not just Bernie now. Now you've got other supposedly progressive politicians repeating the same old tired shit. Like Bernie Sanders, I think he's a double-edged sword. Like, yes, he did get a lot of people knowing what socialism is, but a lot of people are just frozen in their Bernie bro stage, and they act as if the man is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, this man has very, very serious political problems. You cannot really just call yourself a socialist and just parrot whatever Bernie Sanders says, or parrot whatever anybody says. Shit, parrot what I say, or parrot what Trey says. Like, part of being a socialist is being able to think for yourself and analyze things for yourself.
Yeah, it's been pretty eye-opening for me because in Vermont, we have the Vermont Progressive Party, which was formed basically by all of the original Bernie bros, the guys that were backing him for Senate when he ran.
Oh, somebody's calling you.
Someone's calling me? Cook? I don't know who that is. But they helped him for Senate. They helped him for mayor in Burlington and city councils, electing city councilors. And last year or 2 years ago when we were having party reorganization, someone put up a resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. And I got to sit and hear all these former Bernie or current Bernie staffers explain their politics on Israel and Palestine and internationalism. And they are so bad. For better or worse, Bernie doesn't really change much on issues. And in the entire time I've observed him, this is the only thing I've ever seen him shift even a little bit on, is when he went from saying that Benjamin Netanyahu was single-handedly responsible for everything going on in Gaza, that he was going in there and bombing every single person by himself. And it's honestly a fucking miracle that one dude can kill that many people on his own. Well, yesterday he said that it was the radical Israeli government, which I think means that there are political parties that are doing it, not just one guy. And that is a small, very small, almost insignificant shift on the issue from Bernie, and I applaud him for opening his eyes a bit more.
I don't applaud people for doing less than the bare minimum, to be honest. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, I saw a little girl's head filled with shrapnel the other day. Like just incrementalism. Like, okay, so in the year 3500, after the Palestinian people are a distant memory, which they will never be, but after the Palestinian people hypothetically are a distant memory, then Bernie's head in a jar is going to be like, you know what? Fuck Israel.
Yeah.
Like, it just opens up the question, like, when are you going to call, like, what's actually happening? What's actually happening? Like, people have eyes, people have ears, people are not dumb. We see this shit every day. And this was not just after October 7th. This shit has been happening for, any Palestinian will tell you, like, they literally have, this is my grandma's key. We were thrown out of our house in 1949, in 1948. Like, they literally showed up, said, you know what, you guys got 5 minutes to get the fuck out of here. If you're not out of here in 5 minutes, we're going to start shooting. Like, that's how these people were forced to leave their land.
If they were lucky, they got the 5 minutes.
If they didn't just get fucking wasted with weapons that were provided by the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia. Anyways, so this shit has been going for damn near 100 years, and you still have people that are just acting as if this is an aberration. If Israel gets the right government, then everybody will live in peace forever. Like, that has been tried. The Palestinian people have literally tried every single avenue. They tried the Gandhian method. What happened? Israeli snipers along the apartheid wall were blowing people's kneecaps out. Like, people do not just pick up fucking weapons one day and be like, you know what, I really despise these people. Now, no, this was a process that built up.
Yeah.
This is a process that built up. We've had several intifadas now. Like, something has to give. This is an antagonistic contradiction. You cannot live in peace with an executioner. You cannot live in peace with people who want your entire fucking ethnicity, your entire fucking cultural and memory as a people, your entire nation eradicated. The Palestinian people should not be expected to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's asking, like, someone comes into your house and, like, shoots your dog and your kids, and then you're supposed to agree with them on, like, that you can stay in the bathroom while they get to, like, have free reign over the rest of your house, and them assuring that they will eventually come into the bathroom and take the bathroom from you too, and you're just supposed to, put up with that. Yeah, ignoring reality if you think that this is anything but what it is.
Yeah. So you mentioned supporting new chapters in the third of your 3 points. You have 3 points that you're running on. We've already talked about expanding YDSA off campus, which is based. So what is your plan to support new chapters of YDSA?
I mean, I think we actually have a pretty good model right now for supporting chapters as chapters have been organized. And that'll look different if we take this like this youth wing approach, this city chapter approach, and finding people that have been doing those experiments and putting them in the position to mentor them is pretty valuable. But there's just a lot of small finessing shit to setting up a chapter, institutional memory and experience that doesn't make it onto the slideshows, and you kind of do need someone around to just like text and be like, hey, what do I do if they keep tearing down my posters? How do I set up this table? How do I make the script? Tiny things like that. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I have like a bold transformative plan on how to support the chapters. Like I said, we've got a good model, but if we change our approach to like what a chapter is, it gets shooken up. And as a former co-chair of a DSA chapter, I think that will serve me well in the city experiment.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I see on YDSA's website, like y'all have a big bookshelf. Like you've got an organizing manual.
Yeah.
Y'all got an organizing manual. You've got all types of stuff to like, okay, this is where I go to find this. This would have really come in handy back again during my solid Ferguson days. It was like a lot of this shit we had to figure it out on our own. Like I started organizing it in college as well. Granted, it wasn't a YDSA. My alma mater still doesn't have a YDSA chapter. It was like more like a succession of ultra radical Maoist groups. But like this would have definitely come in handy. Like y'all have a labor organizing guide. You've got a mutual mentorship guide. You've got even how to like after you graduate, how to become a teacher. So it looks like y'all are getting into some little salting here.
Yeah, we got the two syllabi, the School of Socialism syllabus and Socialism 101. Those are great. Most of what YDSA was for me for the first year, because it was COVID and we were all on Zoom, was basically running night classes out of that syllabus and educating people and mentoring and working with other folks that they could present on the same topics. It was pretty good. And I think that when you are a small and new, like upstart YDSA chapter, that is a pretty important first step, is providing that political education on campus. I mean, if you're on campus, you've got a higher density of nerds that like to do reading and like to talk about the shit. DSA, that's another difference, is a bit more averse, I think, to Paul Ed and book clubs and reading and stuff. People sometimes in leadership are pretty proudly anti-theory or against reading or against understanding how the world works, and thinks that, I mean, I don't know. This country's public and private education is probably the most important structure for spreading and developing bourgeois ideology. And so you do need some intervention or some course correction if you want to be an effective movement against that. You're not going to, use the slave master's tools to tear down their home.
Yeah. Well, you can, but they have to be guided by correct ideology. Like you can definitely take masses torch out his barn and use it to burn his house down. But you have to prepare the ideology behind the weapons that you're using. Like Lenin said that you cannot just lay hands on what already exists and be like, you know what, I'm going to make this the people's tool now, because it's not, especially if you don't have any actual trained cadres. What's going to happen is you're just going to end up, at the very best, you're going to end up with some type of social democracy. And social democracy is still rooted in the exploitation and destruction of the global South. Like, okay, say we have a free car program in the United States. Everybody gets a free car. that the gasoline that goes into these free vehicles is still going to come from the fact that we have military outposts all over the Middle East to keep gas cheap. We have several puppet states. We've got Dubai, Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, all these states. They serve Yankee imperialism. They don't serve the people of the region. Like, like if Saudi goes communist tomorrow, gas prices are going to go sky high. Why? Because we're going to actually be expected to pay a decent price, and we don't have the House of Saud to basically serve as our lackeys over there anymore. So this is what a lot of people fail to understand. Like, nothing is for free. Nothing is for free. If the global South liberates itself, our standard of living it's going to have to decrease. It's simple, because like the reason why we can go to Target and get 50-inch TVs and shit is because somebody on the other end of the world is getting fucked over. So that's probably that's the main thing that people in DSA need to understand. And like, I don't even identify as a strict Marxist, as a strict Maoist third worldist, because like this is just common sense. This is just basic Marxist political economy and analysis of imperialism.
I'm going to put you guys on a free idea. If the Liberation Caucus is trying to write their next statement that would tank Zoran's campaign, this one should be attacking him for suggesting that we have bananas or any fruit that's grown outside of the United States. Attack him for bringing that in to those municipal grocery stores. He's never said that there's going to be bananas. You guys should just say that if you really want to have another crazy statement. I don't think
why would we do that?
I know that.
Why would we do that?
Crazy about that statement. Love the game. Love the
game. Do you have any idea like how much fucking headache that should cause? I mean, it was worth it.
I do.
We talked about it. Like, we didn't just be like, you know what, we're going to sign our name onto this statement about he who shall not be named, Elias Rodriguez. But and honestly, we were not expecting that level of pushback. We were not expecting, and honestly, the only reason that amount of pushback came was because Andrew Cuomo and Richie Torres picked it up and were like, "Oh my God, DSA says it's okay to assassinate Israeli embassy." And then like the thing that got me was the thing that like I keep saying that we need more political education in DSA. Why the fuck would you throw your own comrades under the? Never mind the fucking guy who's sitting in jail. Why the fuck would you throw your own comrades under the bus to keep the bourgeois media happy?
Oh, because they thought it would give Zoran a better chance of winning. I mean, that's the answer to that. I mean, yeah,
Zoran was gonna win anyway,
and they thought that it gave him better chances to fucking screw you guys over and be unprincipled. I mean, that's kind of the reality of it. Is like, if they don't think that this is something.
And the funny thing is, if that was their intention, it backfired on them. Because we ended up getting a shitload of recruits just because of that.
Yeah. I don't think it backfired. I mean, I don't think that they would call that like Liberation getting bigger and stronger and bringing more people into DSA. I mean, to understand the DSA right, it's like
people. But you're part of the DSA, right?
I'm not part of the DSA, right? I'm part of DSA. But to understand, like, when people talk about DSA right, what they imagine are people that are they have more conservative, like, external politics, that they want social democracy, that they don't care about all these other things, that they're like,
they kill Rosa Luxemburg.
Yeah, right. What their politics really are is how much are you willing to risk DSA for socialism? That is the defining political axis. I think. Where's
socialism? Like, where the fundamental struggle is reformism versus revolution. Like, do you believe that socialism, the dictatorship of the proletariat, which is the only Marxist definition of socialism, any other attempt to define socialism as something other than the dictatorship of the proletariat is revisionism?
And they'll fucking say it, but like here's why I think it's a bad thing. Like, Zoran has been on the record saying he wants dictatorship of the proletariat, and I think people, because he's mayor of New York, and like they were fucking trashing him for it on the news. everyone is repeating and saying the same things, and we pretty much have the same external or long-term political goals. The defining axes of DSA politics are: how much are you willing to risk DSA for socialism? So in practice, what this looks like is, let's just use an example, and I'm not, attacking the rank and file strategy here. I think the rank and file strategy is good, but it is a reality to say that when the Bread and Roses Caucus was proposing it and lobbying for it and pushing for it in YDSA and DSA, they didn't get the results that they wanted in DSA, and members of the Bread and Roses Caucus started a new organization called the Rank and File Project. That spinoff risks to undermine the democratic accountability or the centralization of DSA and YDSA conventions by siloing it off and doing this other thing, kind of taking the ball and going home. However, that thing does advance class struggle. It does get us closer to socialism. I think it is a good project. And so, risking a bit of DSA stuff for what you think is the class struggle, that is the decision people are making. BDS working group. Okay. The short of it is, everyone theoretically has a point where DSA leadership or the organization could fuck up so bad that you leave. And I also think everyone in DSA knows that eventually it will go away. Maybe we take state power and we dissolve this as an organization. Maybe we merge with the Working Families Party and do some social democratic thing. If you're a bit, your leanings, but I think no matter where you're at, that this won't last forever, and how willing you are to move on to do what you think is the next thing. I think that's kind of what defines it. And the people that are newer are probably more likely to want to do something else. And the people that have been here forever, fucking taught David Dinkins how to parallel park or went to their first Paul Ed with Michael Harrington, they are going to have different feelings and be a bit more averse to trying new things.
Yeah, that's true. If I recall correctly, didn't one of the old heads die last month? One of the dudes that literally founded the DSOC. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I cannot.
Yeah, but a lot of those, but you know what I'm talking about. Like a lot of those old heads, they like somebody from the Dinkins era or like 1987 would not even recognize DSA today, because like back then, like it was basically, it would not have been all that off the wall to call DSA a Zionist organization. Like they're literally like, you know what, we fuck with Israel. Yep. And they were so, like back then it was so far right that they fucked over Jesse Jackson to appeal to racist ass unions.
Yep.
Like Jesse Jackson's 1984 campaign, and I don't even like fuck with electoral politics all that much, but Jesse's 1984 campaign was groundbreaking. Like this was
1984 campaign is the reason that the Vermont Progressive Party exists. It's the reason that Bernie has like a real political career. That Rainbow Coalition was very, very important for forming a lot of what would become like socialist or even like progressive electoral machines across the country. And it is pathetic that DSA wasn't there to meet that moment and really didn't meet a lot of important moments for those decades. But, we got lucky. We had the right name. When Bernie ran, everyone joined, and everyone that's joined since then has been working to steer us towards being a real socialist party.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, Bernie has never been a member of DSA, I don't think.
That's not true, actually. So I'm going to give you guys some crazy lore, and there is very little to substantiate this. Bernie Sanders joined DSA on a lifetime membership before we digitized membership records, which means that there is no digital. He doesn't come up on my chapter's membership list, but according to staff, there is documentation that he did join. You spoke at our conventions in the 90s. I think if someone pressed him on it right now, he would say that he's not a member of the organization. But he has reached out. His team has reached out to UVM YDSA for recruiting interns and shit. He's so cool. We've hung out with him and his staff at different stuff.
See, I hate this East Coast chauvinism. Like in New York City, you get to hang out with fucking Norman Finkelstein and Zoran Mondani and all these cool people. And in Vermont, you get to hang out with Bernie Sanders. In St. Louis, you get to hang out with the sexy red Nelly and me.
And Cori Bush. I mean, go
Cori Bush.
She's around there somewhere. I don't know what she's got going on now. She's probably got a bit more free time on her hands. You know,
Yeah, I think she's got a podcast with Jamal Bowman.
that figures. Yeah, that's what you're
Yeah,
supposed to do.
Yeah, you know who would make a dope but also extremely unhinged podcasting.
Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar would have the fucking best podcast. If Ilhan Omar had her own version of like a Dude Bro podcast, it would be the #1 program in the
I
history
was,
of social media.
yeah, she knows ball. I
She
was
loves,
thinking
she doesn't
she
know,
would make an
she loves,
excellent streamer.
She loves
I was
UFC,
about to say
she loves fishing, and she loves Nick Cage. That is, bro.
I was about to say fucking Eric Adams and Lori Lightfoot.
That would be awesome. I would love that show. God,
Oh,
Eric Adams.
hello, AJ.
What needs to happen is Zora needs to reach out to the Adams camp and get some sort of deal where it's like, okay, Zoran can stay in his apartment, and Eric Adams can live in Gracie Manor, and he can kind of be like a fake emperor for nightlife in New York City, and just, you know, there's not like a patrilineal thing. His like fail son doesn't get the seat after, but for the rest of his life, Eric Adams can like go to hookah bars and say weird shit because that's the only reason he wants to be the mayor, and he's good at that.
Oh, that and the free trips to Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, he's not ashamed.
The man, even in that fucking, like, he mentioned Ankara and Istanbul.
Awesome.
In his
Ankara before Istanbul.
Like,
that's people.
How many fucking middle-aged men in the United States know Ankara?
How many times do you think Eric Adams was there and he thought about getting the Turkish hair transplant? And he's like, that would be too obvious. And then he can't. Can they do like black hair transplants in Turkey yet, or is it like, do they not?
I don't.
I've only seen.
I don't. Why, just because I'm bald, it doesn't mean you have to ask me about fucking hair transplants, bro.
I forgot you were bald, but I don't know, dude. If you get on one of those flights, like, it might be.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do Afro texture hair over there.
You should become the mayor of St. Louis, and
yeah. There's going to be just an endless wave of black dudes going over there and coming back looking like Puerto Ricans. I don't think they can do Afro train.
That'd be kind of cool. Like everyone comes back looking like James Brown. Like that'd be kind
of. He's why James Brown is why Al Sharpton wears his hair like that. He was James Brown. He was James Brown's tour manager, I think, and he started getting the fucking perm as a tribute. And then like Al Sharpton looked a lot healthier when he was still chubby. Now he looks like a fucking bobblehead with wasting disease.
Damn. We need to get him the opposite of Ozempic.
Yeah, re-chubify Al Sharpton.
Put that in the fucking program. R&R, Mud, you guys, all these crazy ideas for the new program or the Carnation.
And your third platform plank is globalize the Intifada.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the phrase that they're slamming Zoran for, and I think that, you know, putting it on my platform, though, will not have the same amount of reach as the next mayor of New York City. I think that DSA needs to be unyielding with that point and seeing that the struggle for the liberation of Palestine, one that is sincere and legitimate, does kind of think of itself as an extension of Palestinian resistance. You know, that article that R&R, that Red Star wrote, which I'm not going to say the name of out loud because I don't want to get fucked up too bad if anyone's listening. But look it up, Red Star's article on this. I think it was the right line, that if you're talking about the liberation of Palestine, but one that excludes the people that are actually fighting Israel, it's not real. You're not like really like thinking about it. And I get how they're, you know, the stakes are different when we have candidates that are running for higher office, but at least
honestly, man, like I said, I keep seeing little kids with heads full of shrapnel. At that point, fuck them candidates, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we cannot place the liberation of an entire people on below the whims and wishes of the American electorate.
Yeah.
Like that's social chauvinism.
Yeah.
If I was running for a position and somebody asked me about Palestine, I would say exactly what I believe about what's going on over there and what needs to be done. If I lose, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
And like for like a lot of people simply do not get what true anti-imperialism is. Anti-imperialism is not just like releasing a statement, um, um a lukewarm statement about like, oh, Israel, stop it, bad, mean.
Yeah.
No,
Real anti-imperialism is releasing a good statement, not the
there you
lame.
go.
Real anti is a good statement. I mean, it's more than that, obviously, but you know,
But yeah, like we cannot parade ourselves as the largest socialist organization in the United States with with like with one of our most recognizable electeds voting voting several times to support the fucking Iron Dome.
yeah,
Like people are not stupid, and people pay attention to this stuff. Like you cannot. The biggest mistake you can make in politics is to take stuff for granted. And people study, people do research, people get on the internet, and they will look up your voting record. And people will call you on that shit. They will show up to your little town hall, to your forums and stuff, and be like, "Why did you make this vote? Like, did you think that we wouldn't see? Did you think that we were stupid?" Um, but and eventually you're gonna lose.
yeah,
Oh, and another thing, like we have to develop a plan to fight APAC. Like APAC literally stole Corey's seat from her.
yeah,
APAC fucked over. Well, Jamal Bowman half fucked over himself, but APAC also did not help. So, like, that's probably if we're going to keep doing elections, then we have to actually develop a plan to fight APAC.
yeah.
Like, how
I mean,
are we as DSA going to actually counter the fact that an organization, a lobbying group, can literally dump $50 million on a congressional race and basically buy somebody's seat for them? Like, how do
yeah.
we counter that?
I mean, I think the interesting thing about Zoran's campaign is like there, of course, was a shit ton of AIPAC and other like Zionists and like pro-Israel money coming in for Cuomo against Zoran and the like full frontal media attack on him. But was it unique about him from Corey and Jamal Bowman is that they attacked him on Israel. Jamal and Corey Bowman, Jamal Bowman and Corey Bush, their opponents were receiving the money from AIPAC and it was attacking them on other shit, whether or not they like Joe Biden. Do they do enough constituent services? But when it was strictly defined in the terms of Israel's genocide on Palestine, we won by a lot. They're like one of the most dramatic wins in the history of elections in New York City. And so
maybe liberation signing that statement helps Zoran.
There is a legitimate claim that us being even more bold in our defense of Palestine is the way to beat AIPAC, and that ducking and avoiding it is not the way. Defining it in the terms of this insanely unpopular, immoral, disgusting, brutal extermination of innocent people, bringing that up and saying you're getting a fuck ton of money from guys that want that to keep going on. You should not be, coming in here to steal my seat. That's a winning strategy, I think.
So liberation signing that statement helps Zoran. How much money do we get now?
Yeah, well, we're not getting fucking $50 million. I can tell you that right now. If there's no way that we're going to be able to raise money to as much money as the opposition. We were talking about Clausewitz and military strategy a bit before this, but like one of the great ideas he had was that force is not a combination of our means and our will. It is will that multiplies the means, and that's what creates our force. Means times will. So, for our guys, we understand that our homes, our health, our kids' lunches, our future, our planet, it all kind of depends on our guys winning and having a greater sense of urgency, sending out our people. That's how we beat $50 million and being unapologetic and standing by our principles. Jamal Bowman being kind of shitty on that issue too. I don't think that helped him. It really strained our relationship with him, and we weren't there to keep him safe. He, tried to be a centrist and didn't help him much.
Yeah, if you lose in politics, it's ultimately like, you're like the thing that gets me is like, we should not be surprised when the enemy does what the enemy wants to do. When the enemy does enemy things, like, of course they're going to try to take your seat. They fucking hate you. They don't want you there.
Yeah.
So we have to develop plans and we have to develop strategies to fight back against that. Otherwise, you really ain't got that much business in politics. So, like, the enemy is dirty. The enemy what do they want? Like, and they want to take your seat. They want to take your position. They want to replace you with their own people, and they want to keep all their own people there.
Yeah.
So, our,
I mean,
our skill needs to be predicting what the enemy is going to do and stopping them from doing it and protecting our people.
yeah. I mean, Jamal Bowman, going back to him, like the way that he got into that seat, it wasn't by us building a strong coalition and organizing that community to, you know, actually have that like deep buy-in. For a lot of the early DSA wins and successes after 2016, it was us just kind of like rushing the cockpit in these like low turnout elections and getting lucky with the incumbent like royally fucking up or not campaigning or doing anything and getting in on these weird circumstances instead of doing the methodical organization that it takes to keep those seats.
Like Corey literally unseated a 50-year political dynasty, the Clay dynasty. You had Bill Clay, who was actually pretty good. Then you had his son, William Lazy Clay, who basically inherited the seat from his dad. And people were like, you know what, this guy hasn't done anything. The hood continues to decline. People continue to suffer. Fuck you. Let's give Corey a shot. And honestly, that's why I'm big on the Rust Belt and rural areas, because like, if we can carry this this I was about to say left populist, but like socialist message into rural areas, especially rural areas like the Delta of Mississippi, which is where my maternal family is from, and like still has like a shitload of black people. If we take that message down there, like look at what the Malcolm X grassroots movement, like literally a wing of the New African Independence movement, was able to do in Jackson, Mississippi, and get Chokwe Lumumba elected, rest in power. So
yeah, and I'll take it further and say if we can't do that, then we are not really doing socialist politics. If we can't go, if we're only sticking to
gentrified areas
and Democratic primaries and messaging to a certain section of society that is already really involved in politics because the system pretty much does work for them. If we keep going down that path, then we're not actually going to develop.
That's why it made me sick. It made me sick seeing those rightists in New York, like talking about we could build a base of transplants. I'm like, what about the people that are already there, jackass? Like, so basically, your goal is basically to demographically replace the black and working class brown people in neighborhoods like Washington Heights with a bunch of rich white transplants, and then get them to vote for social democrats. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Did you have a lobotomy?
I was campaigning for Zoran for 15 hours straight on election day in East Flatbush. And yes, that is the sentiment for a lot of people right now, that Zoran is, very tight with a gentrifier movement. And I mean, it is going to be different. I mean, the other complication of that is that those communities lean more towards being homeowners than renters because they've been here. And so having that your primary family financial asset be your home, it vests you in the community in a way that you are much more conservative and averse to. So that's something we're going to have.
There's a heavy homeowner versus renter contradiction. Like you have people in Harlem, you have people in Bedford-Stuy that own beautiful brownstones that their grandpa bought like 1969, or like, oh yeah, my granddaddy was the first black person on this block. This used to be an all Italian neighborhood, now it's an all black neighborhood, and we want to keep it that way. So yeah, homeowners do tend to be very conservative because these are generational homes.
Yeah,
generational homes, and then you look at the price of a brownstone nowadays, and you have somebody that's inherited that stuff. No, we're not selling our fucking house. Yeah. Like shit, you have people that are millionaires just because of their millionaires on paper, just because of their grandpa or their grandma making the right decision and buying a gutted brownstone, and slowly repairing it over the course of decades.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, and that looks the approach that we have to have in the Mississippi Delta, in the Rust Belt, in Vermont. Like we want to go after Rutland. It's like one of the bigger towns in the state, but has very, very conservative leadership. It used to have some industry there. If we want to crack those towns, and we have to crack those towns, we need to develop a new approach and spread out a bit.
Yeah.
YDSA plays a big part in that plan for me, setting up a chapter at Castleton College in Rutland, but this isn't national topic.
Yeah. But I'm glad other people are thinking about stuff like this. I was also like slightly shocked and slightly amused that you've been studying Maoist military theory. Like basically, if you don't
Maoist military theory since high school,
so if you don't get your seat on the NCC, are you going to declare protracted People's War?
You got me. I don't know. I'm one guy. We still need to make a lot of friends and build a common understanding. But I don't know, the way things are going right now. I think that people might need to circle back on some of these topics and develop a new understanding, because the shit is dire. Because everyone thought that like ICE was bad before, they have significantly more money and power right now. We're going to be
big bastard of a bill.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the difference between basically a bunch of bounty hunters and mercenaries, and then this becoming a professional army dedicated to harassing ordinary, hardworking people throughout this country. I mean, there could be as many as
Trump basically through this bill, he has his own Frycorps now.
Yes.
Yep, he has his own Frycorps, and that's what I thought he was going to do when he was bringing all those Boers over here. Like, I honestly, like, if you know anything about Boers, they're good at two things: being racist and killing people.
I really hope I saw those guys get off the plane. I hope those are the guys that they're sending, because they look bad as fuck. When I saw them get off the plane from South Africa and come into the United States, that was, they should be here. They look like they should live in a Dallas suburb. It makes sense. I'm all in favor of, if I became the president, I would do a remigration of every white person in South Africa and Israel. You can get a plane ticket and you can come back. Just come here. We'll hook you up to a suburb in Houston or fucking.
So you want to remedy them stealing people's land over there by bringing them to indigenous people's stolen land? Why not just send them back to Europe, bro?
I mean, we're gonna have to take one for the team, man. Like, someone's got to do it.
We should consult with our indigenous comrades about that.
We really should. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If we'll see how they.
Yeah, you can't just we're just going to settle people on this stolen land, like you're exchanging one stolen land for another. That ain't right.
I don't know.
Send them back where they came from.
I mean, the ones that are born there and still assholes, I think that we could find space for them here. I mean, I'm all in favor.
You just sank your campaign.
I'm ready to die on my feet for this one. I think that they're better off here than there.
Or send them to Wyoming.
Yeah, that's stolen land too, Chris. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Wyoming's same thing. I'm not saying we're going to give them any of the good parts, We're not sending them to fucking, New York or Miami or whatever.
Miami is a good part.
I mean, it's better than fucking Dallas. It's better than Wyoming. There's shit to do there.
Give Miami to the Cubans for reparations.
I'm not giving you shit to the Cubans. The real Cuba, not like the Cuban diaspora that came here. Like, sorry.
You condemn yourself with your own mouth, my lord.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, that was an interesting tangent.
It was.
So, what resolutions are you most excited about for the YDSA or the big DSA resolution?
There's a series of resolutions about like what the local work looks like, and I think it's going to be cool to parse through the differences of city chapters and then city or system networks. Like, that's the subtle difference in this convention, is how vested are you in student power, as like YDSA should become leadership of a student movement versus YDSA should become a youth wing of DSA that develops lifelong socialist organizers. It might not sound like that big of a difference, but it really is informing a lot of our big debates. The student union debate is going to be the most contentious. It already is the most contentious, and that'll be the most exciting to see like play out. But yeah, those are the big ones. Internationalism's cool too. I like the mug resolution for campaigning internationalism. Yeah.
Yeah. Really excited about the international resolutions. I'm really, really, really hope we finally pass the anti-Zionist resolution.
Yeah.
We need to actually like take this stuff seriously. Like we've been squabbling and fighting over this shit. Like what? Like a resolution that little DSA has already passed.
Yeah, we did pass it. There was a lot of debate over it. I mean, there were some people that wanted to make like procedural things to like try to vote on it again. I think it's letting YDSA off a bit easy to say that we like all passed it. It's going to, be a big debate again in DSA, but one that does need to pass because all the things that are going to come up. I can tell you a year after YDSA became an anti-Zionist organization, the work didn't blow up. We recruited more members. We developed a better relationship with SJP and all the other like youth movements. It's really good to be on the other side of passing that kind of thing. And
and I think a lot of people that are coming out, they're afraid of purges. Has YDSA purged anybody?
No. Not on this. Not for this. They haven't. No.
Yeah. Like there haven't been any witch hunts for secret Zionists. It's just like honestly, I think these people know that they're full of shit. They're just really, really, really afraid of losing the. When you're like solely electoral brained, it's like you've got tunnel vision. You don't see PYM over here. You don't see Within Our Lifetime over here. You just see AOC, Zoran, Bernie. That's all you think about. Meantime, you've had Latino people. You've had in the entire city of LA in open rebellion for months. They're not worried about fucking AOC. They're not worried about Bernie. If Bernie showed up, then they'd probably throw a fucking brick at his head. Like, it's a whole different world out here. And honestly, I would prefer DSA embrace and actually be out there in the streets. No shade on DSA, I like comrades. But I would actually prefer DSA actually being out here earning our stripes in the streets as opposed to like just relying on 2 or 3 or 4 unreliable, powerless electeds. People are constantly saying, "Oh, you're allergic to power." What fucking power? What power? What power does DSA have by continuing to be DSA, be fucking AOC street team? Like, what power? We don't have any fucking power. If we're going to build it, we actually have to cut this shit loose. We actually have to show a backbone and actually pass resolutions and actually take them seriously that start to remedy the myriad of political and practical mistakes and mistakes of line that have been made over the years.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be a lot more than resolutions and, things being there. I mean, everyone needs to take
an armed struggle.
Yeah, they need to take it very seriously and actually follow through on the things that are passed. People need to take it seriously. I think that upholding the decisions of convention, if we don't do that, the resolutions mean nothing.
They're just wish casting, or they have about as much weight as a declaration from the United States Congress.
No.
Well, Congress says a lot of shit like this. They can say, "Oh, genocide bad," but they never do anything about it. Continue to fund. We have a fucking $851 billion military budget now.
That's too much.
$851 billion. Like, I can't even fathom that. Like, and then you want to talk about inflation. What do you think the effect of like $851 billion that's being dumped is going to do? But yeah, it's contributing to inflation to allow Bo Ray in the trailer park to eat.
Yeah, it is fun to go if one day, this is my happy place. Whenever I see a terrible thing going on in the world, I go into this happy place. I, through some luck, I am the president tomorrow, and there's like nothing else that led to it, and no one knows what's going to happen next. Complete fucking lottery, and we get to we're cutting the military budget, but we're going to spend all the leftovers and shit on just a full naval landing in Gaza and give out all the food. Just keep going, keep giving as much food until they all look like DJ Khaled, and just
they're gonna kill you.
No, we're going to evaporate as many Israelis as we have to get the food there. That's my happy place, is just use the Navy. We don't use it. It doesn't do anything. It's bullshit. Everything they have is wasted. What if we had like really fun people in charge of that? This isn't a powerful theory of change. This isn't a realistic thing, but it's a fun thing to think about sometimes.
What do you mean it's not realistic? You
for
you to be running for a leadership position, you have a very, very, very narrow imagination.
Well, I mean, the shifts in political conditions that would have to precede someone like me, someone with my politics, being in charge of the United States or something that is organized in the geographical area of what is called the United States. All of the things that would have to happen before that, probably the genocide in Gaza would end before that happened, I would hope. So that's what I mean. It's kind of a liberal idea that one guy can just fucking send the boats, but it would be cool to have these ones.
It's great man theory.
Yeah. No.
And you are not a great man, Trey.
I'm not, but sometimes I like to think about what if I was? What if those were my boats? What if I could send those boats?
They're not your boats. They belong to the people of the United States. You're just borrowing them for 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, we're both the people of the United States. Why can't we send the boats?
That's what I'm saying. We should go take those boats.
Why do we have why do we have to have some fucking old ass pedophile in charge of every fucking thing? It sucks, man.
Wouldn't it be cool if there were like a bunch of sailors watching this right now and this was like what the opening of our battleship Potemkin was? It was Black Redguard and Trey on the stream. And we're like, you could just take the boat. And then they do it. That would be tight.
Oh, I am gay, and from military lore, most sailors are as well. So maybe they are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and have a text. It's gonna say, "Hey, we've taken an aircraft carrier. Where are we going, Daddy?"
Yeah, go to Gaza, dude. No one's ever shot down an American F-35. They've crashed a lot of them. No one's ever shot down one of ours. Israel, only ones to get shot down because they made a bunch of dumb changes to shoot their stupid Israeli missiles and use their
all bought with our money. No, if I had a fucking aircraft carrier, I would by default be one of the co-chairs of DSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give the guy with the fucking aircraft carrier. You got to have him in a position of power. Otherwise, he's going to force his way into one, and that's not going to be very fun.
Yeah. What was the thing? Give Rashida a Gundam, or give Rashida a Gundam? We need to give a Sheik an aircraft carrier.
What, to give a Sheik an aircraft carrier?
Why not Meg? I'll give all of them aircraft carriers.
Give Meg an aircraft carrier. I don't want a Sheik to have an aircraft carrier. I love a Sheik, but I don't want to see that man with an aircraft carrier.
We'll give Alex the aircraft carrier. I think it's funnier to imagine a Sheik.
You want to give a Trotskyist an aircraft carrier?
Fuck yeah, I want to give a Trotskyist an aircraft carrier. Did you know what they did to Machnow? We could do that to Netanyahu.
These people have, look, Trots have like 70, 80 years.
Stamping down warmongers.
Yeah, they are, yeah. And you really think that after all the shit they've taken from Stalinists and Maoists that you and my head will not be on a fucking spike by tomorrow?
I'm willing to make that sacrifice if it means Alex Pelletari sing an aircraft carrier full of aid and F-35s.
Only Maoists get aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
I know. I do not want to. I don't believe in arming the Trotskyites so that they can so that they can get their revenge. I'm not stupid.
I mean, I think it'd be cool. I think everyone should.
What are your politics, anyways, Trey? Like,
I'm DSA. That's it, dude.
Don't play dumb.
I'm in
DSA too. So is DSA a Maoist organization?
I'm an Orthodox Social Democrat, or that's what I am.
Are you bullshitting?
I'm just Trey. No one needs to really look too hard into what flavor of socialist I am. I have certain principles and I like to talk about them, but I think that
you're an eclecticist.
No, I'm someone that wants to see DSA synthesize a unique development in Marxism set for our current conditions.
But
And I
a
think
lot of people in DSA aren't even Marxists.
yeah, I am. I'm a Marxist. Yeah, I'm a Marxist. I'm sympathetic to a lot of the hyphenates, all of the hyphenates that came after it.
You're an eclecticist.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what that is. I'm just.
It means you like to pick. It means you like to pick and choose the best out of every ideology and try to make your own.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't make my own ideology. I think that this is something that we're all going to need
No
to
Treyism.
together. No Treyism. Nobody's going to want to call our project. No one's going to want to.
Do you agree? Do you agree with Black Red Guardism?
Do I believe with Black Red Guardism? Well, what's entailed in that? What's all part of Black Red Guardism? Give me the rap.
Marxism, Leninism, Maoism with American characteristics.
You know, something that I've picked up from my friends in mass work is that these labels are something that are earned through common struggle. And it's not something that I can look at a book, and even if I agree with that book, I'm not going to take that out of the book and say that's what I am. Something that me and my
a lot of people are even worse. They just scroll. They change their ideology weekly because they've read a different Wikipedia article.
Oh yeah. I've called it quite a few of my friends. I had a friend that made his Twitter account, and his name was Luxemburgist, and a picture of Rosa Luxemburg. And I was like, "How much Rosa Luxemburg have you read?" He's like, "I don't know. I thought it was the country. Her name came up. I took a quiz. That's why I did it." But no, I think that more people in DSA need to defend the term democratic socialist and co-opt it.
It means a lot. It means a lot to a lot of different people, though. Like some people think that democratic socialism is just social democracy.
Yes, and that's why all of the new people in DSA, the militants, the radicals, the people that have a deeper commitment to internationalism and class struggle, need to connect with the term democratic socialism as well to identify.
Look, we did the fucking Cultural Revolution, bro. There's nothing more democratic than Maoism.
Right. So no one should be averse to calling themselves a democratic socialist
or Maoist.
Or Maoist.
The only democratic socialism is Maoism. Do you agree? Yes or no?
No, I disagree. I don't think that's the only one. I think
but you'll steal our military theory, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think every socialist wants a world that is democratic, wants a world that serves all the people and something that is for the social benefit. And I really take everyone in the world, and okay, maybe not everyone in the world and everyone in history that's identified as a socialist, but the vast majority of them, I take it at good faith, and I let them prove me wrong if they want the same things. Even the Dangists that are committed to a whole democracy, I'm like, I know you're trying your best.
Why do you say like based things, and then at the end of your sentence you say the most stupidest goddamn thing? Nobody bring up Dangites.
I think I think the modern ones, the people running China right now, I mean, okay, maybe not Deng, but his crew,
Xi Jinping.
They're trying their best. I have a much more positive.
They're trying their best. They literally trade with Israel.
I mean, that's their best friend. I mean, not as much as fucking the U.S., not as much as Germany. So when I'm going to throw out my criticisms, I'll point them at the people that I can actually affect. I gain nothing.
You can affect you can affect Germany.
Yeah, I gain nothing. I'm fucking learning German. I have my summer course is over in 5 hours. I'm supposed to be able to speak German at least an intermediate level. So
can you?
Fuck no, dude. No, come on. Seriously? No. Yikaisa Trey. I don't even think I pronounced that right. And that's just saying I am Trey. No, we'll figure it out.
Du bist ein Revisionist Provocateur.
Look at this guy. Speaks German. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Anyways, I called you a revisionist provocateur, by the way. Anyways, yeah, you are going to make a good elected. You should run for office. You're going to be like, you're just going to take the most moderate positions. You'll be everything to everybody. But all bullshit aside, that actually is a very, very mature way to do politics and do theory. Like a lot of people in particular, like they get too caught up in the online partisanism of stuff. Like, I am a Maoist, so I must be enemies with all trots forever. It's like that's a very, very miserable way to live your life.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are. I mean, right now, politics, the entire world, it's the neoliberal order is crumbling and falling apart. And even when the neoliberal order was working exactly as it was intended to, it was atomizing people and separating them from community. And so there are a lot of people that really want to find some sort of identity or community or something to be a part of. And these online divorced from action political tendencies can be very attractive. But the real life ones that are doing stuff and forging a new path forward, I am a
Hey,
Trotskyist.
so is Trey. So is Trey. Trey is a Trotskyist that incorporates Maoist and anarchist theory.
I'm a democratic socialist, dude. I'm a son of
You're a
DS.
revisionist.
I'm a synthesizer.
You're a revisionist provocateur. Anyways, no, you're just Trey. I have no beef with Trey. The white man with the black man's name. Anyways,
By the way, I just wanted to put that out there. It was my name from the start. I didn't like steal that or anything.
I know. You know, they used to be like during the Civil War era. They used to be like white dudes wandering around that name. They were named like Alonzo. I think one of our Medal of Honor winners was named Alonzo Cushing.
Yeah,
that's the blackest fucking name I've ever heard.
Yeah, there was a quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers used to play in Cleveland with the name Baker Mayfield. It still happens.
Yeah. That's the most country ass, like that's a fucking Mississippi Unk name.
Yeah.
Of course, we'd call him Peaches, but yeah, it would be fucking Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield was a bass player in Motown. That's got to be like the first guy named Baker. That's probably named after one of those guys. That's a great name. Yeah. I love Baker.
Yeah, we are more close than we are different. True. We steal each other's names. We eat each other's food. We fight. I love America. Anyways, so what are your next steps in getting elected to the NCC, and do you think you can make it?
Do I think I can make it? You know, I think I want to go out there and honestly reflect my politics to as many of my comrades as possible. And if they think that reflects them and they think I'm fit to lead, then I will be elected. And if they don't, then I won't. It's the system working exactly how it's supposed to. You know, tomorrow we have the debate for YDSA NCC at-large candidates, where a few questions have been prepared that they'll ask us. We don't get to see the questions, just the topics. Everyone else can ask questions, and then we go to the convention in 2 weeks. So those are the next steps. Okay. I don't have a methodical like whipping operation right now. I'm just an independent running to be in YDSA leadership.
Oh. I actually hope you get it. I'm saying that. I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I'm actually not saying that sarcastically. I actually hope you get it. I also look forward to seeing you in Chicago.
Yeah, I'll be in Chicago. Yeah, I'll be in Chicago 5th to the 11th. I'll be doing the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll be there from the 7th to the 10th.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get thrown in a cop car this time, because that was annoying. Like the second to last time I went.
Yeah, cop cars tend to be very, very uncomfortable. I was in one. Because we were doing an action in solidarity with adjunct professors that SEIU was trying to organize. This was like my junior or sophomore year.
Yeah.
And so we chained ourselves to the balcony in our student union, and the DPS, the campus pigs, they came, and who did they grab? My big black ass. And then they marched me outside, threw me in a cop car. It was, I think it was August or early September. If you know anything about St. Louis, hot as fuck. Threw me in the fucking cop car. I'm sitting back there, handcuffed behind my back. I'm like, oh, can somebody, the fucking black student union came down there. Why y'all take him first? And then they brought like all my other little companions out. And it was a good time. I loved college. Don't like the debt. I don't like the debt, but yeah.
I was in the car and I was just, being a dipshit.
I remember that video. You look more confused than anything.
I had not slept because I drove single from Burlington to Chicago, and I'd already gotten pulled over twice by what I believe is the true modern heir of the SS. That is the Ohio Highway Patrol. They pulled me over twice for speeding.
Have you seen the uniforms at the New Jersey that the New Jersey State Patrol wear? Like those are literally based on Nazi uniforms.
I have not seen it, and I'm not surprised. But yeah, I was pretty tired, and when I got there, and when the cops told me to move, at that point, I just wasn't in a mood to move, and I knew that I was at labor notes, and that we kind of set the agenda. So I get in there, and I asked the cop, like, can you guys play music on here? Or do you guys just talk on the radio? And he puts on the music, his music, and it's One for the Nookie by Limp Bizkit. And that's playing. And the whole time he's going back and forth with his commanding officer. And his commanding officer's like, is there anyone in the car with you? Did you make any arrests? And he goes, no. And I'm thinking, oh shit, that's not good, because he's saying that there's no one in the car to the guy in charge. And the guy calls back.
You thought they were going to disappear you, huh?
I mean, I would hope. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. It wasn't a good. And so when he calls back, I start yelling and screaming so that the guy hears him. And then he calls back a third time, and he acknowledges that he hears someone in the back and to let me go. So it was all kind of a fucked up situation. And hopefully one we can avoid this time, but that we won't be afraid of either.
Yeah. If you end up in a cop car, I'm probably going to be not long behind you. Then we will have a lot of time to engage in comradely exchange of views.
Yeah, we will.
These are New Jersey State Patrol
Holy shit! Jesus, dude.
I remember Asada mentioning these, and they're like, yeah.
You know what else that looks like? That seal up there on their chest? That looks like the logo for NAMBLA and Comet Ping Pong, like the pedophile logo. Like that's a zoom in. Like that's like the pedophile logo.
Why would they raid convention? DSA is not a militant organization. Look, these people literally condemned. Well, I'm one of these people, but the NPC literally condemned my caucus for signing a statement in support of Elias Rodriguez. We are not going to be raided. They might raid the Rugrat convention.
How I get arrested? It's a whole thing. Yeah. I think that there's a possibility.
That was at labor notes, wasn't it?
It was at labor notes. Yeah, it was the largest concentration of labor militants in the country, and the cops thought that they were just going to drive away. Very silly. DSA is not a diverse organization. That is true.
It is not. It is not. Most of the people in this organization look like various shades of Trey. People like me are few and precious.
Yeah. We need more. We definitely need more.
Yes, we need more black red guards. We need brown red guards. We need red guards. We need all types of all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Trey.
No.
50 Shades of Trey.
We got enough shades of Trey. We can get some other shades in there now. I guess if you had 50 other shades of dudes named Trey, then it would be better.
50 Shades of Trey would be a very, very good band name.
Yeah. Well, I'll put that one.
Liberation. Yeah. A bunch of the Liberation people make music. Maybe we can start a band called 50 Shades of Trey. And no, we are not paying you any residuals or royalties.
That's fine. Yeah.
Reverse reparations, white boy. Anyways.
Yeah, reparations for Lowtown.
Trey 57. Do you play Arma?
Not yet. I tried to get it, but then my card got declined when I went on Steam last week.
Oh.
I got Hearts of Iron. I've got Battlefront 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Sometimes, yeah, they're good games. I like the Star Wars games.
Well, let us know when you get Arma, and we will drag you into the war on behalf of Liberation Caucus.
Fuck
Let's see if you're willing to fight for your NCC position. But anyways, I'm Black Red Guard. This is Chopped Ham. I mean Trey. So, all power to the people, and I look forward to you being on the Rugrat Central Committee.
Me too. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. We're signing off, right? Hell yeah.
All right.
Join the Liberation Caucus. It's an official endorsement of everything they've ever said and will say after this from me.
Thank you for that, Trey.
Yeah. Hi.